Some people are addicts. Some are professionals working on their latest and greatest album. Some are hobbyists who love taking pictures and observing the world. Some are just Instagram bitches. I'd call myself a hobbyist, but I don't start shooting everything at every moment. Not yet anyways. I just bring out my dinky little phone and take a couple of photos every once in a while, if I have the chance. Which isn't right now because of that human malware situation going on, but anyway. In late 2018, one normal day, it just clicked with me and I discovered the choice of photography. It was so obvious in retrospective. If I'm outside waiting for something, why not load up my phone's camera and get some B-roll for these videos? Honestly, I'm not sure if I get excited to take photos or if I just get excited to mess with them. Tweaking the shadows and highlights, the colors, and applying all sorts of filters. I am a god, leaving behind my unholy footprint on these unfortunate pixels. Sure, it doesn't always result in something good. I am fully aware of my love for the vibrance slider, and I prefer having every color give a strong, eye-catching impression. Color crushing be damned. But I do feel satisfied with myself on the times that a nice, polished result comes out of it, even if it's a polished turd. The world is my oyster, and the photos are its pearls. Blurry and low-quality pearls that I need to touch up in post. But either way, you might not be familiar with this island's scenery, but I spent my entire life here. There isn't much that I haven't seen yet. For me, it's old and busted. Plus, Google Maps has everything in it. Still, it does make me appreciate what does exist over here just that little bit more. Photography makes you stop and think about the details in whatever it is that you're trying to shoot. If you're just walking or driving past that one monument on the side of the road, you won't be paying much attention if you're not a tourist or a student. Regardless, there is one alternative. Video game photography, you could call it. Virtual photography. Having played video games from an early age, I have seen many universes created by totally normal, mentally sane people with active brains like mine. I have seen colorful, joyful lands. I have seen war-torn planets where different factions fight for supremacy. I have even seen Japanese high schools. How can our boring, unimaginative reality ever compete? Photo modes in recent games are just begging me to take a saturated dump on the developer's artistic vision. They must have known that people without any formal knowledge of color theory would go and drive that contrast slider straight into an orgy of bending. And there's nothing they can do about it. And I know that I am not the only one, because, let's face it, if nobody was using them, developers wouldn't keep wasting their time and budget implementing them. If we are going to hell and back, why not use the opportunity to take a few selfies, right? It's not every day that you see the flaming shores of pure concentrated hellscape. The Forza Horizon series is one that I've wanted to try for a long time, and with the arrival of the Xbox Game Pass for PC, I had my wallet cut out for me. And I swear I spend as much time messing with photo mode as I do driving and crashing into walls and stuff. I deliberately picked this scene as the video's thumbnail because with such a small size, it looks like a real-world photo. Even at full size, I think it could pass as one. What do you think? Did it bamboozle you? Or did you figure it out right away, since I'll never have a car as cool as this? Forza makes it incredibly easy to create something nice in just a couple of minutes. The game already looks great, and the tools available in photo mode easily gives your creations a professional feel. You get that perfect depth of field and motion blur that magically only blurs the parts that you want to be blurred, while everything else remains crisp and sharp. 10 out of 10 wallpaper generator. We all know how much game companies love their perfect bull shots with the best camera angles and poses that are just legitimate enough to pass as an actual screenshot, but not something you'll likely encounter when playing. Maybe they should be thanking us for the free marketing material we make for their latest and greatest masterpiece. Come on, are you going to tell me that this lovingly crafted screenshot wouldn't make headlines on a Steam page? You injure my glass heart. But obviously this doesn't make much sense with very limited color palettes. As amusing as it is to vomit filters all over Game Boy and NES games, it doesn't exactly go well with them. And it goes without saying, but I don't color correct the game footage you see in my channel. Doing so would be disingenuous. Although it does help me out with thumbnails. The more videos I make, the more I want my thumbnails to stand out. Even if it doesn't look like it since they are all an inconsistent mess. Anyway, one thing I can count on racing games for is car porn, because hot damn. Every single polygon of these bitchin' wheel boxes has been digitally chiseled with the most careful attention to details, and I think that deserves some appreciation. Man, I remember when a Lotus Esprit looked like this. It makes me appreciate just how much work goes into making the most mundane of objects look good. A group of artists spent hours, days, maybe even weeks just making sure that these plain old trees look good, even though during actual gameplay your brain won't register them as anything more than a brown blur as you rush past them, unless you crash into one. On the other hand, it makes me question the color toning in certain games. Like Control, a state-of-the-art technical powerhouse with incredible lighting, advanced physics, and a ton of ugly Instagram filters. And the kick in the balls is that the game's own photo mode has a neutral setting that makes everything have its proper colors. What a waste. It reminds me of that terrible era where it seemed like every other game had a piss filter or similar. And I wonder if it's just my personal biases or if there's a genuine reason why sometimes the original screenshot ends up feeling washed out when compared to the edited screenshot that I personally find so much more visually appealing. I'm sure the artists have a specific vision, but I guess it flies right over my ignorant amateur head. I'm just a moron with a computer after all. I don't know much about what goes on behind the scenes of video game development, nor do I have the knowledge of artists with years of experience. I'm editing static images, not an animated series of frames. Maybe applying such complex sequences of filters and edits would cost too much performance. Color correction and sharpening filters through tools like Reshade is one thing. Applying everything you can do on an image editor at once is a different thing. Maybe it's about readability. Having so many vibrant colors blasting the player's face all at once could end up making everything into a visual clusterfuck where nobody can tell what's happening. Or maybe it's also one of those inevitable conflicts where different people see different results due to their hardware. Like, how do I know that these screenshots look as nice on your monitor as I think they do on mine? There are so many variables in question here. You have different screen technologies like CRTs, LCDs, OLEDs, etc. But even different monitors using the exact same panel created by the few companies that actually manufacture them end up with different results because each individual monitor is calibrated differently. And then you have the user's preferences, with different color, contrast, brightness and saturation settings on their own monitor. Still, I do wish developers consider including some basic color controls with their games. I could easily change it on my monitor or my graphics card's control panel, but it would be easier and more convenient with built-in tools for each game. Oh, and have an option to completely turn off the interface, so I can take some clean screenshots of the worlds you have spent so much time and effort working on. But in the end, this changes nothing. It's just something that comes up in the shower or in some other compromising situation. None of this is something that you think about when you're playing a game, nor does it retroactively make a game worse. And once I'm done torturing each screenshot, I go back to the game like nothing ever happened, and life moves on.